Hello! Welcome back to Plannerpocalypse. I'm sliding away from my desk here. Welcome back to Plannerpocalypse, where today I'm finally going to be going over what my writing capsule is. This is basically how I'm organizing my writing project notes for the current work in progress that I'm working on, that I'm writing. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stay tuned. And I realize I gave the Plannerpocalypse intro, and that's because this is the intersection of where notebooks and writing kind of meet, and also it's my channel, I can do what I want. So first, what is a writing capsule? I did get that question in the comments when I mentioned it before, and basically that is what I've been calling just like my notes system, because it's not just a notebook, it's not just a binder. I do have some digital tools that I'm using as well, and so for lack of a better term, that's just what I've been calling it. Just like the toolbox that I use when I'm writing my junk, okay? So what does it consist of? My writing capsule consists of my writing project bullet journal and this A5 rings binder. This is from Moterm. It is a leather A5 rings binder. And what it also consists of is my phone, because I actually do a lot of writing and brainstorming on my phone. It also consists of my iPad, because I have a keyboard on the iPad, so that takes the place of my old laptop, which I no longer have. And it also consists of my FreeWrite Alpha. So it's all of these things together. But I wouldn't take all of those things at the same time if I was going out for a writing session or something like that. But right now I'm in the plotting, outlining part of the process in my book. And okay, I'm writing under a pen name, and so this feels weird that like I'm writing under a pen name for my very first book, so I feel weird about talking about it. But at the same time, I'm not really trying to hide the fact that this is also me. So, because like I said, I already mentioned my pen name in a previous video, and I basically, the Momokeen name will be it's to set expectations, right? We use pen names because maybe we don't want our family to know. But yeah, or it's like a branding thing, right? You need to set readers' expectations for certain things. If you're writing romance versus writing erotica. So I'm starting with erotica because I'm like, I want to write romance, so I'm going to turn it up to 11 in order to just start and get used to, like, I'm at the point where I can write anything. And so that's great. That's fun. But besides the point, let's just get into this video now. So this is how I've been keeping my notes for my erotica shorts collection, which is, again, still being developed and stuff like that. I haven't gotten to the drafting portion yet. So here we go. First, I did a lot of research into like what other writers use for their bullet journals and stuff like that. And I have all of these notes from when I was doing that. And this is the second time I'm recording this video, so hopefully this is not going to be like an hour long. I'm actually going to set this for maybe 45 minutes. And if I have not finished by then, I don't even know. But okay, first of all, you don't need a fancy binder. I started with A5 because I had it and because I wanted something small and portable. I also have this absolutely gigantic Case-It binder, which is, it's a 3-inch binder, and I know this is gonna be hard, but it has a strap. I got the monster one because I'm a child. And it also has this like accordion folder with 5 tabs and like a pencil pouch here and another pouch pocket here and a pencil loop, 2 loops and a back pocket. So yeah, I am not to the point where I need note cards. So part of that binder would be these 3x5 sleeve pages and Rocketbook cloud cards, which are actually reusable index cards, which I will demonstrate for you here because first of all, I like Rocketbook and You can back up on the interwebs with their app. You just take a picture in their app and it saves it. So basically, you know, you write on the thing with a Pilot friction pen, and then where's my water? I'll just use my spit. And then you just wipe it away. Ta-da! And so these are reusable, and I like to try to conserve paper in an eco-conscious kind of way. And I actually bought 2 packs because this comes in a pack of 40. They do have an 80 pack, but the cards, they come in black and then forest green, and I don't like the green ones, so I just wanted the black ones. So I just bought 2 separate packs of black instead of a 1 pack of 80. I don't know. So yeah, that's this. I'm not to this stage yet. I also wasn't sure if this size was going to be enough for the stuff that I have, whether I was going to run out of room, because obviously I replaced the rings on this Moterm unit, by the way. These rings are from Planner Press a few years ago. I don't know if she still offers those, but yeah, because I wanted black on black and not silver on black, but that's beside the point. I should have honestly just gotten it from Cloth and Paper, but I had already gotten this, so I missed out. Anyway, speaking of Cloth and Paper, this cover thingy, it says "Own Your Own Story," which is an 𝖊𝖊𝖓𝖓 quote, and it is from Cloth and Paper, and I thought that was just very appropriate for how I'm using this thing. This is a bookmark that my daughter gave me, and these are just like Erin Condren thingies, little flare things. I had nothing to put in these pockets, so I just put those in there. This is an emoji magnet pin that, you know, obviously is holding a pencil, so it's very writing themed. And then I have my page flags here. These I use for plotting my scenes, basically. So I wrote down all of the things that are typically found in like writing notebooks, and then I highlighted them and divided them into different themes. And so here we go. Before I get into this, why didn't I just keep it in one notebook? And that is because during my time as a bullet journaler, I, you know, wasn't able to fit everything into one notebook. So when I had reference pages, that meant I had to recopy those things into the new notebook when I migrated, and I just don't like doing that, period. So this is a system that allows me to move pages around and keep reference material that I need throughout multiple books, and also keep stuff in here for figuring out book stuff on my current work in progress, while this is just meta stuff, which I'll get into. But so basically the categories that I have are reference, morg, which I'll get into, my project bullet journal, which is this, story journal, current story reference, and research notes. So here we go. This is all of this stuff. So here we go. This is a flyleaf, and this is how I sorted all of this stuff into this system. So before the tabs here, I have my, as you can see, E is for erotica. Okay, that's the book title. And you can see my pen name. It's 𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓. And there we go. The cat's out of the bag now. So I have the stuff about my work in progress here in front of the tabs, and then it's divided further into characters, setting, plot, morg, reference, and then just extra paper back here. Some of you might be wondering what a morg is, and I will get into that. So what I was going to keep in here, I'll just read this stuff. In my first video, I read all of this stuff, which was absolutely ridiculous of me. But so the current story reference will be overview or an inbox kind of thing here. So like I have an author's note, which I probably won't use. I have an elevator pitch, and I'm not done with that section. This is very piecemeal right now, but you can write down the genre, the themes, your voice, your synopsis, elevator pitch, your info dump, if that is something that is helpful for you, any subplot ideas, your audience and what their expectations are, your story notes, which I would actually put in the plot thing now that I'm looking at that, but that's fine. Any ideas and thoughts or story premise, you can do that. You can also, I honestly, I kind of used this for a little bit of that, which I'll go into. So the first thing I have is characters. That's a post-it note, which I have nothing on. Okay. Characters. So we have character details or profiles, character interviews, use character sketches if you are artistic, maybe a mood board or who would play them in a movie type stuff, mannerisms, character tells, like how does your character respond to certain situations. If you have, I don't know if any of you are artistic, but the grid of character moods, this is what they look like when they are happy, sad, and on a roller coaster or being hit in the face. I don't even know. But it's stuff like that. Like, how does your character react to having their milk spilled and their candy stolen? So the grid of main character impressions, I did a video back in Vlog Humbug last year about my character relationship grid. And then you can also put their character arcs here. So for my project, I am a romance writer and I am writing erotic romance right now. I literally could not stay away from the lovey-dovey kind of like, I want the happy ending. So it's no longer a question about it. It's just how they get there. That's just how I do. And I think that's fine. But I designed these romance character sheets. So we have main character, love interest, point of view character, yes or no. You go down all of their personality, what they do, their habits, what is their general relationship with their parents. If you want to do their attachment style, which can inform how they are in a relationship or what kinds of problems to expect when they're forming relationships. Obviously we have backstory, what is their core wound and how does that inform what they want. And then, turn-offs. Again, I'm writing romance and like erotica. So what are their turn-ons and like how do they behave in bed and that kind of thing. So yeah, like I said, this is specifically like for a romance character. So I have the main character and then the love interest. And then after that, I fill out the couple dynamics sheet. So it has the meet cute. It goes into like how they combine and form the relationship, what their dynamics are like, what they bring out in each other, and what their issues are, how they grow together, and stuff like that. So I have, because I'm insane, I am making chaotica erotica. Okay, I have 4 different couples in my book, and so they are color coded with these 4 like washi tape tabs that I made. And I am insane. I've never seen a book like this before in my life, and I don't even know I don't know if it's gonna sell, but that's we're gonna just do it. So this is a version of the character relationship spread. So I will link that video in the cards or down below, or both maybe if I remember. But basically you write your characters up on top and down the side here, and then you start here. So what does this character think of this character? So obviously this is the same person. So what does she think of herself? And this is also just like a brief overview, maybe first impressions. You might even make 3 different versions for if you're doing a 3-act kind of thing, or like a before and after, or just make bullet points. I did make little hearts to say like, oh, this is the love interest. I color coded everything because that made it easier for me to see visually. Like over here, red is Damien and this light blue is Roxanne. So what does Roxanne think of Damien? And that's basically how that works. What does Bill think of Annabelle Lee? And there we go. So that's what that is. So the next tab is setting. So setting and world building. So setting profiles. I also have a wish list because I don't know yet what kinds of settings I'm making. This is a modern romance or whatever. So do I want it to be in a made up place? Probably, because I don't want to have to go research places. But like, what state is it in? Originally, I'm from New York, so like I write a lot of things in New York, but do I want it to be somewhere else? I don't know. Relevant world ideas, magic system would go here if you're writing like a fantasy thing. Setting, mood boards, floor plans, if that is useful for you. Research, weather of the area, flora and fauna, and maps would go in the setting tab. As you can see, I don't have much aside from the brain dump, the wish list. So then the next one I have is plot, the plot tab. So this is your plot outline. This is where your subplots would go, scenes that reveal character, scenes that propel the story forward, which every scene should propel the story forward, ? I don't know. Timeline, your outline or plotting notes, your series plot breakdown, chapter breakdowns, scene breakdowns, breakdowns. Also, I'm just literally rewriting everything from everybody else's things. There could be a lot of repeats in here. Your index cards of your outline, obviously that is not going to fit in here, like the index card thing, which is why I have the other binder, the big one. So you can also do the index card method with a digital tool like Notion or Trello or ClickUp if you use the Kanban feature. And I am going to be making a Notion version of my capsule, so I have everything together both digitally and analog, because I'm extra like that. You know, sometimes I'm just out and I have an idea, and so I've been using Google Keep to capture all those ideas, but it will be easier, I think, for me to be able to sort them properly. I could tag them, I guess, but whatever. Your last full draft for like when you are editing and such, your storyboard if you're doing a comic or a film or a screenplay or something like that, a script, any cover sketches for your book covers, and story structure kind of stuff. So because I'm writing shorts and you guys, this is the craziest book. I don't even know, but basically what I'm doing shorts that give vignettes into these characters' relationships, but I also want them to have like character growth and an arc of some kind. So I took Gwen Hayes' Romancing the Beats, the beat sheet over here, and I boiled it down to 6 beats to love, because I'm doing the ABCs. E is for erotica, and everybody gets letters. And as you can see, this is what I have so far. And there are 4 couples. Everyone gets 6 stories, with A and Z being like bookends for the story. And so then I boiled it down to, okay, what would be like, it's going to be very fast paced, and that might be problematic for a lot of people, but it's erotica, and you know, the expectations are that they're just gonna do things together. This is experimental, and that's fine. So yeah, that's basically it. So I my plotting notes for now, and as you can see, I still have a lot of work to do, but that's fine. That's what this is for. So then some of you might be wondering what the heck a morg is, and I don't know if this is an industry term, okay, or whether this is just my high school art teacher. But when I was in high school, my art teacher referred to the filing cabinet full of magazine clippings and torn out pages of like pictures and stuff that we would use for collaging. She called that the morg. I assumed that was like an industry term, so I've just always called my collection of random things a morg. So here's what I will put in there. This is a reference thing. This is a long-term reference thing. It is not specific to the work in progress. So like the first few dividers, characters, settings, plot, and anything before the dividers, that is all current work in progress stuff. And then the back end is all just reference material. So morg, random, unrelated to current project ideas, dialogue snippets, edited bits you still want to use for something someday or your darlings. I actually have many files of like edited bits that were like good, but not good enough for this, you know, this thing. Because, you know, like sometimes things just don't flow. So like I just cut it out and I paste it into this document. So names that I like, parts of characters or character ideas that I would like to explore in a story that don't have a home. I call those orphans. Put the orphans in the morg. Like what is happening in my thing. So I have names here. I have orphans, which is characters with no story yet. So that could be named characters or a character concept. So, for example, a himbo who misses all of the main character's blatant advances. I would like to write that. Setting ideas, so place names, types of locales, etc. Dialogue bits can go in here, so like any kind of like smarmy, snarky little comments or whatever that, you know, just come to mind. And so those would go in here. So those are like, think of it as like body parts, you know, of that makeup, whatever. It's fine. Am I a little bit morbid? Yes, I am. am. This is coming from the person who wrote the Death Positive Goal Planner, okay? Like, I don't know what to tell you. So orphans, story ideas, setting ideas, concepts, short story ideas, poetry bits, blog post ideas, fanfic ideas, urban myths, or word vocab morg. So if you have like a word that you're like, ooh, I really want to use that somewhere, you can have a vocabulary list back in the morg. Factoids that would be useful or could be interesting in a story someday. Any title ideas, scene ideas, series idea list, or episode issue titles if you do something in a more serial format like a comic or something like that. And then the next thing I have here is reference. So these are all the printables from all the people I follow. So the plot embryo is from Rachel Steven here on YouTube. This character interview is from 𝖘𝖊𝖊𝖓, and she wrote, for example, Creating Character Arcs, which is a really good book. And, we have Heart Breathings, Sarah Cannon's, character's inner journey, and like the character arc here. Those are her plotting sheets, which I think you can just get from her website. I think you have to sign up for her email list to access it. She also has how to edit your novel, everything you need before you self-publish, because I am self-publishing, because who is gonna buy my chaotica erotica? I don't know. But that's not the important part. The important part is just actually doing the thing and not worrying about that right now. This Nano Prep 101 thing, which has a lot of like story junk in it. It's very chunky. Jesus Christ. And then of course I have Romancing the Beat, which is from 𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖓. And I made a note of what is plotting versus outlining. Plotting is the ideas, all of the events that happen, including your subplot, and then the outline is putting it all together in a cohesive narrative. So it's like taking, this is plot point, right? And the outline is putting it onto the flow of the story, if that makes sense, like putting it in chronological order. Okay, great. Then the long-term reference would be craft notes, writing, bullet journal spreads, clean, that don't have anything. So actually I don't have those here, but I do have a reference bullet journal for everything, which is where I got my writing stuff. All of my printable stuff, any inspiring quotes, my why as far as like why I want to write, why I want to be an author, any archetypes or trope characters. Maybe it's a type of trope that I really hate, thoughts on how to improve that trope, or things that I want to explore like that. A happy things or gratitude list for when you're like in a slump. If you have published before, maybe good reviews that make you feel good about yourself when you're in a slump or you're feeling like everything is awful and really depressed about what you're doing. A master project list or Kanban of keeping track of where they are. I actually moved that into the project bullet journal, which I'll go through next. Pen name ideas, future ideas parking lot, your actual pen names and associated works, revision reminders. So these are problems that you often encounter in your own work, and so that you can keep that handy when you're going through and editing. Any style guide notes that you need to keep handy, grammar notes, editing checklists, publishing checklists, marketing checklists, your book TBR or wish list, your good reviews or praise for your bad days, like I just said, your project graveyard, again with the very morbid terminology here coming from me, blog tags that you use. So your project graveyard would be any project that you were like, I cannot get this thing to work. I can't get it off the ground. So I'm just going to kill it for now and put it in the graveyard. And then maybe someday later, some many years down the road, I will look at this project again and salvage the workable parts from it and recycle them into like a better story. Because maybe there are parts of your project that are worth salvaging, and just like there's something about it that just wasn't working. Maybe it's a character. Maybe that character needs to be brought out of that project and put into a different scenario. Yeah, it's okay to kill your stuff. I don't know. So then also there are supplemental notebooks. Again, the project bullet journal. And then also I've got these two notebooks in the back. This has a gigantic pocket. I have a thing of post-it notes here. So this is my writing notes from craft books. As you can see, I haven't written anything. These are my page flags for when I'm reading. And then this is my inspiration mine, which I think I've gone over in other things before, maybe not. But this is where I'm reading fiction and making notes about some kind of thing that I encountered that I like. And I kind of try to analyze why I like it so that I can take whatever nugget there and then add it to my morg. So maybe it's a name, maybe probably not a name, but maybe it's, usually I will put that into the orphans part. Like I want to write, like there's a character in this thing that I just read. What is it about this character that really resonated with me? And I'm not encouraging people to like rip other people off. That's not, but boil it down to like, maybe it's a wound that they had that really got you. And you're like, I want to explore this further or in a different way. Like what would happen if I take this in a different direction? So then, you would do your analysis and then take the result of that analysis and put it in the orphans list and, turn that into a character at some later point. So, okay, that's what those are. So yeah, then we get to the bullet journal. You can reiterate your novel theme or elevator pitch if desired. Mostly this is for the meta of writing or project management and not as much for ideas and imagination. Writing logs, sprint tracker, yearly writing goals if you want to do that, manuscript status page, your chapters edited tracker, any rewards for work done, any scenes you have to edit. So this is about the process, right? This is the process of writing, whereas this thing is about the content of writing. So I wanted to keep those things separate just so I am not getting, I don't have to like, I don't know. I like to be able to move things around and I want my process in one place. I just want them separate. I think that's okay. I don't need to have a reason. I just like them separate. So, okay. Scenes to edit, problems that need fixing, but like to revisit when editing. So if you're drafting, you don't want to have to stop to edit and break your flow. This is a common issue that I personally have. I constantly edit when I'm drafting, and that's why I've never really completed anything. And so that's also why I bought my free write alpha, because I get very perfectionistic and nitpicky. This is going to be, as I'm writing, drafting, I will just open a page and write what I am having an issue with. I can also just like literally write that in square brackets in the draft as I'm drafting, but I also want to be able to write notes on what I was just writing about so that I know for the next session what I'm going to be writing. Because part of my process previously, because I am a plantser, which means I do pants, but I do also like some structure, as you see from, the whole thing. So previously I was a pure pantser, and that's also kind of why I never finished anything, because I would write myself into corners, and I would also be convinced that I needed to write in chronological order, but if I didn't know where it was going, that made it hard to write. So now I'm a hybrid. I do like some structure just so I know where things are going, but my process, I start with characters, and the characters will tell me where they're going. So which is why I'm like simultaneously doing my character development and plotting at the same time. The plot points might change as I write, which, it happens. You can't plan for literally everything, and that's okay. But yeah, another thing that would be good to keep in here would be feedback notes from editors or readers, if that, so that when you are editing or whatever, you can reference those notes. If it's common thing that you keep getting, I would say to put that in your long-term reference, just so you have it throughout your editing process throughout multiple projects. So the project bullet journal for me, I'm not starting a new one every year. This is just going to be whenever I write. As soon as it's filled, I'm going to make another one. And there's stickers back here, by the way. These are word sprint post-it notes that I designed. They're actually up on my Etsy shop. If anyone is interested, they're like $2.50 or something like that for the digital file. They come with a template on how to set up your post-it notes and run them through your printer. But yeah, anything your, nano sprints or event trackers, any brainstorming notes and stuff like that. So basically, we're done with this. Goodbye. So this is my inspirational quote. Someday you're going to be someone's favorite author, and I made it look pretty. I wrote down what to keep in here, which is everything I just read. read. And then I also wrote on this sticky note, your most important mission as a writer, should you choose to accept it, is to finish your first draft. And that has always been very hard for me as a perfectionist. So, with a lot of like imposter syndrome as well. So I'm trying to keep those things in my brain. Obviously, there's the index. I wrote down the number of squares to and fro. So this is the process Kanban, which I got from 𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖙𝖎𝖔𝖓 bullet journal spreads for writers. I tried to write down all of the reference links and stuff. If I can find them, I will link them below in case you wanted to take another look. But basically, this is adapted, by the way. This is what I made it into, because it was just this here, or I don't remember what it was exactly, but so I have planning, and that's split into plotting and outlining. Obviously, I have my book title here, 𝖕𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓, and I, will move that to the next thing. So like it's divided by phases: planning, drafting, revising, editing, book cover, publishing, and marketing. Again, I'm going to be self-publishing, so, and I'm also a designer, so I'm going to attempt to do my own book cover. It might end very poorly, but we'll see. And then, first, second, third draft, revisions, and edits. So I probably won't let anybody see it until I'm done with the second draft. I don't really know. And yeah, I need beta readers, and I do have 3. I'm not really sure how many I should have, but then this is like the future idea brain dump. These are stickers from Procrastiplanner, etc.'s 𝖍𝖎𝖓𝖙 thing. Collaboration sticker thing. I can link her shop and like those stickers down below. They're printable. I bought the printable ones, I should say. This part is from Rachel Stevens' writing bullet journal setup, and I can link that videos down below. So she was saying that instead of making a bullet journal for like divided into time, you divide it into phases of writing. So brainstorming, first draft, draft analysis, draft 2, draft 3, crit partner / beta phase, book cover, which was something different in hers, and then pub and promo, and indie publish. So this would be like your future log, basically. So anything that you think of that you need to do, write down. Also, I included the do not edit here that she wrote in her video, because I need to keep that in mind as well. So I've been actually making a lot of progress recently, which is helpful. So I've only finally figured out all of my characters' names, so that was nice. So then we have the brainstorming phase. I started April 10th this month, and I'm literally writing the same list of things to do here. And this is the progress or time tracker. So I'm not drafting, but I am trying to keep track of like how often or how long I write or work on my book. So this is just, date what I worked on and the time spent. And I did do that, which is great. I also used this to journal through some stuff. So I was really having trouble figuring out the names of my last 2 characters. I do not want my back just cracked. Awful. I don't know if anyone heard that, but since I have 4 different couples, I don't want to repeat any initials, especially with like the love interests who are not, at this point, they're not point of view characters. I might change that. I'm not really sure yet. I'll decide when I start drafting, probably. Because like in some books, you have like the main character and then the love interest character like swap chapters, like point of view chapters. I might do that, but I might not do that. I don't know yet. But yeah, like I wrote down the list of possible names. Also, a fun little thing happened where, okay, I don't want to repeat any letters, and I was talking to my husband about it as we were cooking dinner, and I was like, okay, so I have a B, I have a D, and I have an M, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to make the last one an S name, so it's BDSM. And yeah, I had a little chuckle. Basically, I do things to amuse myself, and that's all that really matters to me. So that's how I do things. I like to make things ridiculous and funny because that's just my personality. Obviously, my pen name is named 𝖊𝖓𝖓𝖓, and she is a clown. And I picked that name because I can't write this stuff without laughing hysterically. So that's why I picked that name. And then, so like I use this also to journal about where I am stuck with my writing and to help me just get through the process. And then I also I'm keeping track of erotica books that I'm reading that I don't really want to put on Goodreads. I don't know. And that's pretty much it. And my timer just ran out, so that's pretty good timing. Yeah, so that's what my writing capsule is. Like I said, I also use digital tools, chief among them being the Google Keep for when I, suddenly have an idea that I want to jot down. And so my phone is always on me. This stuff is not always on me. So that's what I do. That's my capture tool. I do try to write those notes down, but I have so many story ideas and character ideas. I will be creating a digital version of my writing capsule in Notion, at the very least for just the writing process. I don't know, how is that going to fit in with the work in progress? I'll have to think about it, but I would like some kind of more robust collection tool for my writing instead of just using Google Keep. Though, again, they do have like the option to tag things and then you can browse by tag, so that's useful. But I also use Google Docs to, actually do the writing. And because my FreeWrite Alpha has the option to, get backed up to the cloud, I use Postbox, which is like the in-house cloud service for that. And it also gets backed up to Google Drive. And you can also have it sent to your email, which is what I do just to make sure that it gets backed up, because I actually lost a few entries because I've been using it as my daily journal every night since I started using it. So that was a little alarming to find out. So I always press send to make absolute sure that it actually backs up, because I don't want that to happen when I'm writing my book. So yeah, if you have any questions, I feel like obviously I've talked a lot, but if you have any questions about my process or what this is, I have no idea. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask them down in the comments below. Is this a little extra? Maybe, but I've decided that I need things organized in a certain way so that they're accessible, like my notes are accessible. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. I enjoyed making this video because I'm just very excited about getting started on this book and making writing content and such. So I'll see you next time when I do something else. Maybe the next one will be the Notion writing video. I don't know. Not the next literal video, but the next writing content video. I don't know what it's gonna be, but because I'm filming a bunch of things and it's all out of order. Anyway, bye.
Till next time.
Stickers and washi tape galore.